Rachael. Hi, guy. Welcome to our home. I'm Emily, and I'm 12 years old. I live in Kissimmee, Florida, and I'm a homeschooler. Well, come on, I'll give you a tour of my room. This is my room. As you can see, I love dolls and toys, and I love stuffed animals. I still think it's fun to play with dolls, even if I'm 12. There's really no age limits on having fun, is there? Have this toy kitchen. This is probably where I got my first start of wanting to, cook and bake. And I also like to serve it to my family. They even leave me some pretty great tips. And I also won this hat at Sweets by Holly for having the best decorated cupcakes. This is the family room. Right here, I have my Buddy Velastro book, which I won as runner-up in Buddy Velastro's sports cookie contest. And I also won one of his great pans, too. So, I really love this book. And then, we especially love Rachael Ray's Everyday magazines, because they're really awesome. So then I guess we should start cooking. And now here's a few tips at the beginning. You should always put your hair up. Now that I have my hair up and my apron on, we can get cooking. Today I'll be making my signature dish, squash flowers. Most of you don't know what a squash flower is. It's the flower on the squash. It's basically the same thing even with zucchini, so you can make it with zucchini flowers. Then we're going to start with the rice flour. We have rice flour here, we have 2 eggs, and we have seasoned breadcrumb. You can also add coconut or potato chips into your breading. Sky's the limit, So we're going to start with that rice flour. Into the eggs. And then right into our breading, which you could always make it any way you liked. We are using seasoning. And then our next one, which most people would think, you're eating a flower? But believe me, they're really good once you fry them. Now we're ready to fry. So I'm going to take it over to my pan, which I had heating up with olive oil. Now if you're uncomfortable with, frying on a stove, or you could always take out a baking pan, pour some olive oil on it, and just put it into the oven. It'll work just about the same. When you drop a squash flour into it, you should hear a nice sizzle. And now we just wait, which is probably the worst part about cooking, because don't you want to eat it? Now you can still hear that sizzling. We've turned off our stovetop, and now we're just going to be taking these right out. And these are our squash flowers. They look pretty good, and I think the rice flour did make it a lot more crispy than using regular. Now, we're going to be making the dip for them. Because these are great on their own, but a dip really makes it better. Now that we've made my signature dish squash flowers, we need a dip for them. So, I'm going to show you how to make my dip. First, we're going to use a cup of basil. I'm using fresh basil. And then, I'm going to use a half a cup Italian parsley, and then 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese, which is my favorite cheese. You can't go wrong when you're using Parmesan. And then we have already pureed 5 sun-dried tomatoes in there, but we just bought them in a bag, and then we put them overnight in the olive oil, but you could always buy it in the jar. And then we're going to use half a clove of garlic, because I find that in the dip, if you use a whole clove of garlic, it's overpowering. But if you like garlic or a little spice of the raw garlic, go ahead, put in a whole garlic, And now we're going to use 4 tablespoons of olive oil, a half of a fresh lemon. See, I already toasted the pine nuts on the stove, so then we are going to just add these in. And the pine nuts make it really good. And now we're going to put the lid on. But with the magic of TV, we have it all made. And I'm going to have one of these because it's my favorite. And the dip, really good. Now this is the dip, and it's really good. It's just not a dip. For squash flowers, you can also use it over some pasta, or maybe toast some bread and put some more cheese. It's really good. It's probably my favorite part about the squash flowers is the dip. Thanks, Rachael and Guy. I hope you enjoyed my signature dish squash flowers and my Italian dip to go with it. So long for now.